The DJI Avata 2 only just came out, and that's why in this video I want to help you make the right decision. Is this the right drone for you? Is this a great introduction into the FPV world? This video will help you answer those questions. What's going on, everyone? My name is Dan Davis and I'm the course creator over here on the Fearless Drone Academy, which is the ultimate online drone course for beginners. If you're new to the drone world, maybe you've had a crash recently and you're terrified to fly again, that's what my course has been designed around. I want to help people become fearless drone pilots, overcome those anxieties and become confident with their drone. So if you're in that space, make sure to check out the drone course, fearlessdrone.academy. Use the code FDA10 to save over there, and let's get into it. You can literally get used to flying FPV in a safe way, but also still get unique FPV shots. And that's what I love about the Avata 2. It will hover for you. So straight when you let go of the accelerator, it's just gonna sit there and hover like any other DJI drone. You can also press the return to home button. So if you lose signal, it's gonna return to home. If we look at the goggles, they have an amazing video feed on them. Like the view from the lenses is phenomenal. There's no latency. It doesn't drop out. Crystal clear video. And that's something you won't get from a lot of FPV drones. You also won't get an FPV experience like this with the RC Controller 3. This is next level. This is such a fun experience. And the fact that you can start out as a beginner, get used to it, and then go into a manual mode where you can get that, the perpetual movement where straight when you let go, the drone's going to come down and you need to keep that movement going constantly. You can still have that experience with this drone once you're more confident. And it does have the built-in propeller guards. So in terms of safety, it's a very durable drone. And I did test this with an obstacle course setting. I flew between all these sorts of gaps and things. It was crazy. Like I could get super low to the ground, and it does have a few little vision positioning sensors here that will basically let it know if it's too low to the ground. So I can get super low to the ground. I can bank around trees. I can dart in between gaps. I felt so confident, right? Like I'm not an FPV pilot. I've flown the Avata 1, but I still wouldn't say I'm an FPV pilot. And I can pick this up and get these crazy unique shots that you wouldn't be able to get from any other standard drone. And I can get that and feel confident while flying the drone. So if you are looking to pick up the Avata 2, I will have some links below. I'll have some international links to pick it up from a few different sites. If you're based in Australia, you can go to the D1 store. You can reach out to them, sales@d1store.com.au, mention DANSTUBE, and they'll be able to help you out with the best deal possible over there. DANSTUBE is my main channel, so check out DANSTUBE if you haven't already. And if you're looking for a deal, you can use the code FDA10. So on their website, use the code FDA10 and you will save over there on select items. So check out the D1 store and check out those other links I've got below. One of the coolest safety features on the Avata 2 is the emergency brake. It's this orange button here. It's got a little bit of a kind of grippy feel to it. And the thing that's cool, right, is I can fly at full speed towards something. And if I feel like I'm not going to stop in time, or if I feel like I'm getting too close to something, I can press this button once and it just stops instantly. Like the drone, it's going to move just a tiny bit more because it's pulling up, but it stops pretty much instantly. Like if I'm really close to something, it's going to stop before it hits that thing. And I've tested it in the sports mode. I've flown it towards me, press the button, and it will pull up instantly. So that's another awesome peace of mind feature here, especially if you are new in the FPV world and you want something like this. That's where DJI have really stood out here. They're offering you everything about an FPV experience, but with a lot of safety features that you wouldn't get from other FPV drones. Another really cool upgrade here is the headset for the Avata 2. I love this redesigned headset. I love the fact that the battery is included on the back here. It feels comfortable on the head. It doesn't feel like you're leaning forward when the previous one maybe felt a little bit more like that because a lot of the weight was in the front. This is obviously balanced because you have the battery pack on the back. You've got a little screw option to tighten and loosen. The cables kind of flow between this strap here. You got the little antennas that pop up. It just feels great. And the fact that you're getting flawless video directly into the lens here, you've got a bunch of options to adjust the lens. And if you've got prescriptions, there's a bunch of options to adjust regardless of what your eyesight's like. It's going to work for you, which again is a nice little touch here from DJI. On top of that, it's just great. It's extremely responsive. It gives you the menu option on the headset itself, so you can adjust the different settings directly through the headset, enable all sorts of different features through the headset, and it just feels nice. It's not as kind of awkward, I guess, as the first one. It just feels a little bit more balanced in terms of how it feels on your head, and a great experience overall. When we talk about the video quality here, this is a huge calling card, right? Because when we look at other FPV drones, typically what would happen is you would be mounting a camera onto your drone. So what happens here is you've got an all-in-one system. You've got a gorgeous 1/1.3 inch CMOS sensor on the front here. It's a 4K camera. You can get up to 60 frames per second in HDR. So you're getting amazing video quality here. You've got a bunch of other options, photo options and video options as well. You can also get an ultra wide view, so 155-degree wide view, and it doesn't give you that banding, it doesn't give you that awkward jello look. It just looks great regardless if you're in the normal field of view or the 155-degree viewing angle, which looks awesome. We also get 10-bit D-Log-M here, so we're getting some awesome post-production options if you want to get more out of the footage. The dynamic range is phenomenal here and the video quality does look great, so can't knock anything about the video quality here. The other thing that's cool is battery life. So we're getting 23 minutes, that's the rated battery life. A lot of people might think that's not great when we compare it to other drones, but in the FPV space, this is huge. A lot of the time you're only getting a few minutes from most FPV drones on the market, but we're getting probably realistically, let's say 15 minutes per battery. 23 minutes as if the drone's going to fall out of the sky. So to be safe, we want to bring it back and land it. So let's say about 15 minutes per battery. That's pretty good. That's extremely competitive in the space, if not advancing the FPV space. I love the redesigned body here if we think about it compared to the Avata 1. And overall, it's just an improvement across the board. The other thing that's really cool is the easy acro mode, which might be a little bit of a gimmick, a little bit of a novelty thing to some people, but you do have a slide feature. You have the 180-degree drift, which is one of my favorites. So as the drone's flying towards you, it will drift around and then fly back to almost create like a revealing shot. That works flawlessly. I absolutely love that. And then we've got the rolling mode or the flip mode. I keep forgetting if it's roll or flip. So you've got a front flip, back flip, and left and right roll. You can do that while the drone's still flying forward. So it can fly forward, flip forward, and then continue flying even after you flipped it, and then you can roll it straight after. So that's great, but the fact that the drone just continues to hover, I can do a front flip and it'll just hover after that. So again, a safety feature. It gives you that kind of unique FPV perspective, that experience, but with all of the safety precautions in place. So again, a great introduction to the FPV world. We do also get Rock Steady and Horizon Steady as the electronic image stabilization options here. So Rock Steady is the one that I use pretty much always, and that is something that we've seen in their action cameras. Does a great job of keeping the footage stable and steady, regardless of what you're putting it through. You could be flying really fast, darting around, it's going to look stable. And then you can use the Horizon Steady, which, as the name suggests, keeps the horizon nice and steady. So you can prioritize the Horizon Steady or the Rock Steady. I seem to lean more towards Rock Steady. The other thing is the internal storage, which I was not expecting, but we get 46 gigabytes of internal storage on the drone. There's an option to add more. You can open it up and put a micro SD card in, but the fact that we've got internal storage here is huge. It means that you don't have to worry about another SD card, and then you can just plug the drone directly into your computer and transfer the files across. So overall, the DJI Avata 2 is a flawless FPV experience. That's kind of how I see it. I see it as flawless FPV. It gives you an amazing FPV perspective, but it also has all the safety precautions. So it allows you to introduce yourself to the FPV world, get used to the movements, get used to what FPV feels like, and then from there you can progress into the manual mode and you can become a true FPV pilot at that point. But to start out, you're getting still the unique FPV shots, but from something that can return to home, something that can just hover in the sky, something that is extremely agile and easy to maneuver with the controller. So you're getting a very unique FPV experience here as a beginner, but then you can progress into more of that pro space as a professional FPV pilot if you really wanted to push your skills a little bit further again. So an awesome offering overall, a great upgrade from the original. And maybe you saw the original Avata 1 and you thought, that's the first version, I'm just going to wait. I think this is the one to get. We're probably not going to get one for a long time now, so this is the one to get. If you've been holding out for an FPV drone from DJI, I think this is the one to get, and it is at an affordable price point. I think they've done a great job with the pricing here, and it's just so much fun. Straight when you pick this up and fly it, you are going to fall in love. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of your amazing support, and I'll chat to you in the next one. Peace.